welcome to the Getaway podcast. Who the fuck is banging on my window? Am I getting robbed?
Hmm.
Is I Chubbs in Skelly. And, today,
Rose is here too.
fuck Rose. She's not getting a guest thing.
Okay.
She don't speak.
Well, I mean that's true, I guess.
So
You
fuck
got me.
Again. Anyway. We, last week's episode, we,
I want to suck your blood.
we did vampires. It was a very good episode, very good topic. To be honest, we're just kind of like really excited for Kingdom Come. So Skelly's idea was gaming, but more or less cities
Cities
in
and games
games.
specifically.
And it's funny
Because we like more like one topic.
we're talking about Bethesda because let's start
Well, that's what made me think of it.
let's start simple.
Because I was thinking of like when you like go to Whiterun and Skyrim, like I just don't get that wonder of a city, especially open world game where it's like a city in a fantasy world. So like I'm meant to go from like the wilderness to civilization, and Whiterun just doesn't like really hit like that. For the first city you go to,
I'll go right
it's
on this.
left. There's a handful of town like buildings. Right, there's a handful of villages or like districts, quote unquote, and that's about it. And then you go to the fucking keep, and that's it.
I'll give everyone this, right? It's like your first thing, and like with the aesthetic of like how like the Nords are for. I think White One's fine in terms of just like where it like regionally is and what it is to me. I think fine. It's a little keep, but the thing is, it's funny because it's the middle of Skyrim. It's talked up to be the most strategic thing for the Civil War, a very important city, for that nation. And it's funny because I think if White One was just like this its own thing like that, that'd be fine. But when you go to the other cities, it's funny because like some are like called keeps, like they're actual cities, but it's like this is just a big village. Like there's no walls, no castle, no fort.
Like there's no district. It doesn't feel like I'm in a district or like a specific like block or anything. And like it doesn't feel like a city. Like no, I don't think really any of them do almost. Like I think Skyrim is a very like good example of like cities not really feeling like cities in an open world game.
Yeah,
And that could be the limitation at the time, which probably played a big part into that. So like no shit to Skyrim, despite it not being that good of a game. Fuck Bethesda, but
let's see,
like
right ones, like there's like the probably the most one like makes you like stare out is the Dwemer city, the like it's Markreath or something. But it's the city that's pretty much built off.
I was gonna say, oh wait, are you paused recording or are we still going?
We're still going.
I was gonna say two cities and like Skyrim I could think of that someone had that were the Thieves Guild one and the Forsaken one. Those feel like they have like deeper layers. And it's not even that much, like 2 or 3 layers.
I like Solitude. Like there's no like other thing to it. I just like the aesthetic of it. Kind of like Solitude's very like more like it's heavily influenced by the Imperial culture. It's probably nerd shit to be fair. So like I this probably won't hit like for you. Like I'm more into like the lore Elder Scrolls. So maybe for me this hits more than you for you. But like for me in Solitude it hits a lot because it's like big Imperial fan. And for me, it's kind of like nice to see like how the culture affects that city, where it's a mixture of like Nord Stone Age with like Imperial architect culture. So it's like an interesting thing compared to everything else you're seeing. But as far as Solitude goes, it's always like how it looks. While like the Dora City has the whole Forsaken quest, which that's always nice. But it's also just like a big city. Like you really feel like it. It's like oh shit.
None of these cities are also like really bustling. Like none of these cities feel like a city with a shit ton of people. It's like there's a handful out maybe.
Yeah.
Like this to angle this off like of what I think is a really good city in like a fantasy like open world game would be The Witcher 3 with Novigrad. Which I don't know. I know I streamed it sometimes I was playing. I don't know if you ever saw me in the city. But that feels like almost like a separate map from the open world. Like you get lost in that city. And it's similar for the Blood and Wine DLC of the game through Saint, but I spent a lot more time in Novigrad. And I don't know, like it feels like a bustling city. Like there's NPCs everywhere. They're doing jobs. They're talking. You have quests that are just like all over the city. Like you like as you do the missions in this quest, you start to bring down the districts. Like oh, the city is where people are like sick. They're more poor. There's a lot of brothels here. Oh, this is the more uptown area. Like it feels much more like a city than something like Whiterun or like Skyrim does. I think it's one of the best examples of like a city in like an open world game where the city isn't the main aspect of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like Cyberpunk would be the reverse of that, but like specifically like Novigrad, it's like you can just get lost in it for hours. Like so I really like it. It's like especially because the first part of the game's in like complete like wilderness essentially with some villages.
I
So like going from that to that, like it just feels really distinct.
going on the Bethesda still. I really like the Imperial City in Oblivion. Honestly, I grew
I
up
think
with
too,
the
I was thinking
fucking
of
thing.
cities. Like I was thinking of cities before in gaming. A lot of people mentioned that city.
I like the Imperial City is great. I love it. It's like it. I mean, it's a focal point and everything, and like if you really, it's all the districts you feel them. Like like the Arena District, the fucking Market District, the Elven District, the fucking the Imperial Quarter, and then the Mage thing. They're I like also the aesthetics. And it's a really big city that you get lost in with all the quests. Um, and then the little keeps around the like the world in Oblivion is pretty nice too. Like I like fucking Bruma, which is a it's a city on the border of Skyrim, so it's got like a lot of Nords. It's very like Nordish, but like again, uh, but I remember also fucking and I played Morrowind, and Morrowind's fine. I did like the idea where it's like you can tell when it's a more like where it's a Dwemer, not a Dwemer, a Dumner settlement versus a Imperial one, because Dumner will have like a very like weird looking one, and then all the Imperials just have like basic villages. But what I like about the Dark Elves, it's like if it's Telvanni, the Telvanni will have giant trees because they're known for planting their houses, so all their shit will be very like alien looking, and then other ones will just have like shell houses and shit. So it's like a very like interesting like architect. I hate Vivek City though. Vivek City, I said this before. I think Vivek City fucking sucks. It's really dog shit. I just don't like Vivek City. It's very like just you get lost easily. Yeah, I hate it. It's just a bunch of the fucking same buildings. I hate Vivek City.
Well, again, what I like about Novigrad is you learn to navigate it. Like you get lost somewhere on the first, but like a real city, you kind of like learn. And like how many NPCs are there? Every like I think really a big part of this is like how many NPCs are in these cities too. Like make them feel like alive. But though the to reverse that, I think a really good example of a city that like does grab being like feeling like a gigantic city while also being completely dead is like what Lydell from Elden Ring.
Oh yeah,
Like I think it does really good at being like an abandoned city. Like it feels like you enter this giant place and you're like, holy shit. It feels like a city in like scope, but completely like dead, and it really adds to the atmosphere of that game. So I think that's a good example of like a dead city.
like and FromSoft does like pretty good like shit. Again, the whole you see the giant. I think the probably one of the biggest things you see first of all, besides when you're going into it, is the giant fucking dragon like overtaking the city. You're like, what the fuck? But like again,
Yeah.
it's like the Asher and the abandoned carriage. You're like there's enemies here
Yeah,
and
look, it
there,
feels like a city that was at war. Like it feels like exactly what it's supposed to be.
but like a lot of times when on like the alleyways and shit, it's just like pretty much quiet until like you run into someone just slumped over or a fucking or a looter or something. But again,
Yeah.
and plus the
Right.
outskirts of the city all have like siege weapons because the shattering was recent and like the fucking Radon arrows and spears and all that shit on the outside.
Yeah, it feels very much again like a abandoned city that was at war before it fell. Like it
Like
feels exactly.
honestly, and to be fair, this is like MMO, so probably it's a little cheating. But in ESO, I actually like some of the ESO like redesigns for Skyrim. I need to show you it's the fucking winter like the Stormcloak one. That one I really like that one. I like the actual Skyrim game one there too. It's stone, but this one's more because it's like set like older, so it's more of a wood settlement, but it's like very cool Viking like aesthetic, and it's like very like it keeping it what you know from Skyrim, but like adding a bunch of little twists to it. But
Yeah. Well, to another one that's like feels like a whole different world where you step into it from the open world is Saint Denis, Red Dead Redemption 2, which I love. I love Saint Denis because it feels so much different from the rest of the map.
I
I know Epilogue has Blackwater too, but I didn't do the epilogue of that game, so I don't know
I did, but
how Blackwater feels in comparison.
it's also like not like the Red Dead One Blackwater. It's like how Arthur said it, where it's on the border of civilization. But like what I like about Saint Denis is your first town is Valentine, which is a livestock town.
And then you go to Strawberry, not like like soon after that,
So it's it's
which is
it's
like super hick
so it's
town.
it's Valentine, mud eyewear, shit, whatever.
Horses,
Then you go to
just horses.
Strawberry, and that's like in the woods, and it's pretty. Again, most of these towns are pretty, but like again, it's a small town, pretty like maybe a general store, and then you go out to Rhodes, which is just straight up even like okay, we're in the fucking little thing here, and then eventually you get to Saint Denis, and that point in the story, it really hits because that is truly civilization booming.
Yeah, it makes you feel it. It makes you feel like civilization. You see fucking lamps, you see railroad
Trains,
tracks, the trams. Like you're like, what the fuck? Like
like
just
actual
barber
police
shops, like all kinds of
uniforms.
fancy shit. Yeah, like it feels so like distinct in that game from all you've
I
been
also
doing.
like
Like it really hits you with
the
that
game
civilization
detail
feeling.
is that sheriffs and marshals all in the other towns, all their weapons they spawn with are revolvers and shit and repeaters. But while in Saint Denis, the officers will spawn with pistols and pump shotguns because
Yeah.
they're more like modern at the time period for them.
Yeah,
Like
no, like it feels like
also,
such a modern
it's a
city
big
compared to
city. It has
everything
like
else.
many alleyways to run through. Like there's a lot in Saint Denis.
And because of like the attention to detail Rockstar is doing, there's like a lot of things going on. And again, a big part of this stuff is like NPCs make these cities feel alive, and it does. Where you're running past someone, you can run to random shit alleyway, random events. You can go into like a place that's just for poker. Like it really feels alive. And it feels like again so distinct from like the rest of the map. Like it really just is like boom, what the fuck? Like that spot of civilization just like blindsides you. And like it's just a really special place for that game, especially when you get to it. Like I think it's best if you get to it naturally, but like nowadays and later like playthroughs, I just run to it pretty fast. Like that first time you get there after like playing so much of the game, you're like, oh, what the fuck, bro? Like it's just really eye opening. You feel like Arthur essentially. You feel like the gang being like, oh shit, it's here. Like it's just really special. Fucking and then now tangle to a city that's mostly the city, then some of the wilderness outside of the map would be Cyberpunk, of course. Which I don't think anyone's gonna try to argue that Cyberpunk doesn't feel alive, considering that's the whole purpose of Night City.
I will
I think Night
say,
City was really like its
Cyberpunk
own
feels
character.
different on the Saint Denis thing of like, again, unless you pick Nomad, everything you start within the city. So you start in the street level of the city, or you start in like the high echelon like cyberpunk stuff, like corpo. So either way, you're really in the tech. Like it's so much tech that you get used to it for a while, and odds are you probably won't leave the city until you get the quest too. And when you leave the city, I remember when I first did as a street kid, it hit me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, 'cause I'm so used to how cyberpunk everything felt, like how dystopian, to where when I was out and just almost where it's like it looks like normal. I guess it kind of goes.
Well, I
What?
think I had a different feeling. I think it feels dystopian in the opposite way, where it feels barren outside of the city. Like you see the big junkyard, and the only thing out there is like this giant plants and like maybe a barley or two. Like it feels barren. Like it feels like oh, everything's in this city. Like they don't have room for anything else outside. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what it felt like to me. It's like oh shit, this is like a different kind of dystopia where I see this giant landfill. I see this giant plant for like corporations. Like
Also,
I'm not seeing like much.
like even with the gangs are nomads, and they're all living off the land and moving like a nomad. But the thing about them too is like a big thing is their vehicles, right? Like Tiger Claws are all using bikes. Like all most gangs are all super like tech heavy, or like they got like their thing. But the nomads, one of their big things is their rides, and all their rides are, I think the brand is Thornton, and it's obviously still futuristic cars, but like they're definitely their design is supposed to be off like old style. It's more like actual like it's probably like how our cars, if they were given a bit of like a tech like look upgraded, but like still kind of keeping the same feeling of old shit. And I gotta tell you, especially when I was doing my corporate run, having that expensive like Bugatti ass car where it changes the thing, the door slides open, it's like super futuristic, and then getting into Thornton where it's just like a fucking pickup truck was like night and day for me. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was driving
Another thing with
Pan Am. I was
Nigeria,
like,
I
what the
love.
fuck? Why is your shit not changing color?
I love how distinct each neighborhood is. How like you can really tell like turfs and the different gang. Like I love how distinct each like gang turf you can tell. You start seeing different graffiti, different like of that gang hanging around. Like I really love how you can tell when you're in like a different neighborhood or like this gang's neighborhood, like stuff like that, or like the layers where you can like go down or up and
Yeah, if
scaling
you
the
go
city.
if you go
Like
to like a corporate district, all like the MPs, like you see a lot more suits and like you see a lot of police on the corners.
yeah,
Like in
again, like, it feels like they do turfs really well. Like it just feels like a bustling city. Like that's a city. It's actually a city where I like. I don't really fast travel in Cyberpunk almost at all. Like I love just getting a bike and just riding, listening to the radio, and going to like each objective. And that's one of the few open world games I don't really fast travel at all. Like I just really love exploring the city.
you
Like
know,
it again, it just feels alive.
I'll throw another bone here. Like I mean, this is technically within the city. Like it's there, but like it's again treated like its own thing. Is Pacifica because like again you're in Night City a lot. It's where
It's like something that feels very distinct from the rest of like everything else.
like going to Pacifica. I honestly like, again it felt like I really went into a whole ass like country. Like it felt weird.
Or actually, you want to know an even better example of that is the DLC area.
Yeah, I haven't done the DLC yet.
Oh yeah, you haven't.
Yeah,
But when you do, it feels like a whole new like world. You're like, what the fuck? This is all happening within the city because it's literally like a city within a city. So
yeah.
it's like, holy shit.
Remember, I think Dogtown is like not America. It's
Well, no, it's like a mercenary guy
yeah.
owns it.
I was
Yeah,
I think it's internet like like what the fuck the word is for it.
yeah, like a former like he was a former general or something. I forget the exact lore, but he essentially took it over
Yeah,
with like his own army. But it's like private.
yeah. I think he was like ex Militech.
Again, I can't remember super specific, but that's another thing that feels very like, what the fuck? It's a city within a city. It feels very like distinct and like its own thing.
Yeah.
Like, so that's another thing Cyberpunk does very well.
So
Again, the different cars, everything like that.
yeah. So obviously, because they're excited for it, we'll throw it in. Kingdom Come. Now, obviously, it's doing like it's going off the time period, so it's like no super like god statue, no fucking bug houses. It's all that. Still really like it. The probably the main city you'll be in is fine, but like you pointed out last night, the
I'll say even that main city you live right next to feels like really big. Like it feels
yeah
like the better version of like Right Run from Skyrim or something, where like it's super like it's not like giant, but it's super packed and dense. Like there's shit everywhere that's like going on. Like it feels very alive.
yeah I don't remember the name, but the top left of the map,
I had the town with the big church
yeah
that you have to be a monk in.
that one gets me because
Um,
like when you first enter it going
that
from
was
the
big.
south,
It's so much bigger than any other
the
town you go to.
the bottom half of that town is like the farms and everything, like small villages, houses and farmhouses, and you're like, okay. But then you get to like the tavern on the other side. But then you get to like the actual town district, and it's a bunch of shit, bunch of walls, all that shit going on. You're like, okay. But then besides all that there, then you have the cathedral district on the top of the top. That's its own fucking thing. The monastery. You're like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
And comparatively to all the other villages and stuff you travel to as Henry, like when you get there, like, oh man, this is big. Like I think Kingdom Come to Deliverance is like the setting is in a big like town or something too, so there might be more of a big city in Kingdom Come, so we'll see. But that one sticks out because like it just feels so giant compared to all the other villages you go to. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is like a bustling city, like the church is here, like there's a lot of stuff going on in this fucking town. Like it's not really a city, it's like a big town, but still. Like and like comparatively to the scope of the rest of the villages, it feels really big.
Yeah.
Now this one isn't technically a city. I don't know if you classify it as a city, but I remember I think it kind of gives a similar feeling when you first go there, which is the Citadel in Mass Effect. Like on paper, it's actually not that big, but I remember when we first go there, and I think it helps where it's like divided to like multiple sections you have to get loading screens into. Like it does feel like this big like hub. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember first going to the Citadel, gave me that like that same feeling of like, oh man, this is like a whole different area from where I just was. Like, oh shit, look at all this like the community in the town, like the governments and shit going on here. It's like really cool. And to cut to a place that does a bad city, Starfield.
Oh,
Which
it's big
Starfield,
tech.
I don't know, man. Like it has like its loading screens to take everywhere, and like I don't know, like it just doesn't feel a lot. Like I think Bethesda, which is ironic because I think they do really good at making Skyrim feel living to me, but I think Starfield does not feel living to me at all. Like it just feels like a simulation. Like I'm like it just doesn't feel like there's a cyberpunk city, but it doesn't feel like it's like super small. Like there's a Wild West city, like it's fine. Like yeah, I'm not doing much in these cities. Like it's all like there's no substance to these cities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even like the first one I go to, there's nothing there for me to really grasp. It just like kind of looks nice aesthetic wise, and like I don't know, Bethesda sucks now. Which I know a lot of people point out New Vegas as being a really good city, but to me, I maybe it was hype when I played it. I always thought New Vegas did not feel like a New Vegas. Which I know they wanted to do a lot more with it, so like I can't like again it's limitations of the time. But I do think New Vegas feels kind of barren for what it's supposed to be.
I like Freeside.
I like Freestyle, but again, like when you go to the strip, it's like four places. Like this is like supposed to be the Vegas Strip. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be like this bustling thing.
I remember hell, like I remember Oblivion, like I've talked with the guys before because they've asked about it. Like in the lore, Cyrodiil is like a jungle. It's a very jungle tropical area, and then blah blah blah. Akatosh reborns the area until what it is now. That is there because it was supposed to be like that when the game comes out, and they were like, I don't really an official reason, but eventually they were like, fuck it, and so they did more like of a, cause it went from like the crazy like culture shit of like Morrowind, and they wanted to kind of tone it down a bit, so they went with the Imperial look, which for the what the Imperials are, I actually am fine with it, but yeah, like I guess Dragon God changes the city to that, but I always think that's funny with like content where it's just like, or seeing what a design could go with certain places, especially when they're making the game. But
Yeah. Um. Oh fuck! I had another one in mind, but it's gonna slip, so I'm gonna go to a different way, which is I don't really think the city feels alive, which is Spider-Man, but I think it feels really good as a city from like a Spider-Man web swinging perspective. It feels great. Like I don't think it's a good city in terms of it feeling alive, but I think it's a great city in terms of me traveling as Spider-Man. like like it makes you feel like Spider-Man would. You know what I mean? Like it's really put together like that way where it feels great traveling it like web swinging. It just doesn't actually feel alive. I just think it's great for what it is, though. You know what I mean?
I think at first I like you asked when I like my first 5 hours. I think I would have disagreed because my first 5 hours I was like I did I like by like when I was near at the end of the game when I did all the DLCs I already knew how everything worked mechanically and like you land on the ground at first it's cool when everyone's like oh Spider Man but you really can't do too much besides one every
It's
now
like
and
three interactions with an
yeah
NPC can do three
so
different
like
crimes that happen. Like
and
it's
like yeah, for the first book also I did the I percent it, so like I did the crime thing,
I
and
did too.
yeah, and at first it's cool where you're swinging around, it's like fuck, there's so much crime, but then you're like, oh, there's like a set district thing, and I like those districts have like a certain
Yeah.
scenarios. Again, I'm not trying to shit on it. Again, the game, like you're not, I imagine you're not like playing so much to do all the challenges, you won't go down the number. If you went like the basic route, you'd probably be like, "Fuck, that was pretty cool." And again, I still like being a Spider-Man, but when you especially if you go on the ground like sometimes like I did just to see, you get the I take picture, is that Spider Man? And high five. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's like it's a typical map where it's collectibles thrown all over and shit. So like again, I don't think it feels like great as an Alive but I feel like it's really greatly designed to where web swinging and traversing it is super fucking fun.
Yep.
But and that leads to I remember what I was gonna say, which is a very overwhelming city that can burn a lot of people out in this game, which would be Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 3, which is Act 3, because Baldur's Gate 3 is such like a crazy game because it feels giant, and then you get the Baldur's Gate, and it's like a whole nother game, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Baldur's Gate
Like
is fucking
you've done
intense.
so much at that point, and there's so much in that part. Like I don't think I'm even on the surface level of actually understanding that part because we kind of rushed through it because like we were getting kind of burnt out because we had already done so much. Like we didn't take the time to properly you know, pay attention to a lot of stuff. But that part feels like giant.
Yeah, there's so much, like, and like quest
Like at that
lines,
point in the game,
ending
you've
a
done
quest
Act One and
lines lead
Two.
there, and fucking new quests appear, other like organizations, like
Yeah, and you think at that point in the game, at least your first try, you think you're nearing the end because you've done a lot at this point, and like you're like, okay, it's gonna be a good city. It's probably gonna be about equal to the other two, and it's like, oh no, there is shit everywhere in this part.
not to mention at this
Like
point in
it's a
the
giant city.
game now starts throwing in like hard like actual encounters, so like with actual like it's not just a guy who has three abilities that does axe swing. It's now like this guardian has like, this element and this bullshit, and now like pretty much every quest or building you go into, the encounter will take you a while. Like Act Three is just a lot. It's already so much shit, already long, and then the encounters will also long it out either way. This is a lot, and then the companions, all their shit's also going on. Like this is a lot of shit going on in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. Like you already feel all those quests that are like going there at the end, but then you get like tons and tons and tons of other quests that get thrown on top of it. Like it's very easy to get overwhelmed in that one. Like, but it does feel properly giant though. Which fucking speaking of, I think I got another game I love. Sleeping Dogs. I really love Hong Kong in that game. Like I love everything about like the design. I love the aesthetic, the fucking how like the it's almost always raining. Fucking so much about Hong Kong and Sleeping Dogs really feels like the genre like personified. Like it's just really well done. Like it feels grimy, it feels wet, it feels like dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which then I'm gonna ask, what's your favorite GTA city?
I was gonna say it's I was really debating because like I was going through two, but I think I'm gonna stick with Liberty City. I like Liberty City, but also because like GTA 4, I love everything about that game and what its theming is. I really want to say San Andreas, and when I say San Andreas, I don't mean GTA 5. I mean it's like the old map, because the old map was like super different, where it has like the kind of ghetto like actual LA of Los Santos, and then you have the hit county, and then you have fucking like San Francisco, and then you have fucking like Las Vegas mob area, and then you have desert. Like the old map is pretty much San Francisco, LA, Nevada, and the Nevada desert. You feel me? All in the one map.
Yeah.
And so it's very like geography. Like it's you go cross map, you're seeing all types of different things, and that's really cool. But I also kind of really love Liberty City. Like you start out in the most like you start at the dock area in a shitty apartment with a bunch of fucking other immigrants and it's poor. Also, I just think the pedestrians in that game really make the city feel good. Motherfuckers like yelling, random strangers and shit. Hot dog guys trying to sell you the hot dogs. And then you get to like the middle city where shit's trying to more pop, and then also you get to like the last city, uh, where it's more like inducts and shit. But again, fucking, I really like Liberty City. Like again, the whole aesthetic of it is like this revenge mob hitman story. I say mob hitman, even though he's like we fucking work for the mob and they do hitman jobs, but his whole story of like a dark gritty thing, and it fits because the Liberty City feels that way in this compared to where like
Yeah.
San Andreas is like more like 90s aesthetic fucking like gangster like be for the hood shit, and then GTA 5 feels like if Kevin Hart and The Rock and some fucking other actor did a movie today. By the
Okay.
way, I shit on GTA 5 a lot. I don't think it's a terrible game. I actually am fine with it. I just think like knowing what Rockstar can do, also all the story DLC getting cut, I just kind of they kind of
I
don't
mean, you
care.
got Red Dead 2 after that. Like the difference in quality between those two games is kind of crazy.
I just don't know.
And it also sucks that Dev Online doing so well for GTA killed any possible story DLC for like any of their future games.
My thing is that I don't know. I just feel like I like every other protagonist is almost always going to be better written than any of the five guys because the problem is it's all trying to do all three at once. So like each character is trying to get as much screen time as the next person. And to be honest, they went so far into the Lamal Let Me Critique LA America that they forgot to write something. So yeah, it just I don't know. It's hard. Like, look, man, you have Carl Johnson, CJ, whose whole thing is that he ran out on his family after he fucked up and his family died. He went to Liberty City, leaving his brother to take care of everything, and his mom died. He comes back trying to meet because his whole thing is he wants to be something. He wants to be something himself. He tries everything for everybody to make himself better, and when he gets on top, he just kind of first of all he gets fucked over, but then he kind of gets on top. He's like fuck the hood, and so Sweet's like nah, stand on business. The whole thing is finally standing for family, being there for those people, not running out again. And then Nico Bellic's whole story is revenge. At the end of the game, you can decide: do you take the revenge and feel like shit, or you not do it but don't feel different either? And it's on your decisions to depend on what you feel. Also, the last choice as well. And then GF5, it's just like, I want money and to retire. I want money and to be a psychopath. And it's just, I want to get out the hood and fuck family. It's like, I don't know, like Red Dead. Come on, like I'm a Western guy, so already both John and Arthur's stories. I'm like, yeah,
All right, now off to another game, which is I think I have to actually go back and continue playing this game, but it's Batman Arkham City, which where you play Asylum and then go to fucking Arkham like City. That game, like it really feels like such a like change. Where that's it, like it's like one big level and it feels giant, like in scope. Similar to, like Spider Man, like it feels really big. It has like such a distinct vibe. I think it's really well designed, especially for like traveling as Batman. Like I think that city is really well done in that game. But I think another one would be Final Fantasy 5, like not 15, 14, the MMO we played. The cities in that feel giant.
yeah,
I think you said that could be kind of cheating, but on those you kind of get lost. That's how big they are. And to be fair, they felt live again because MMOs there's actual people there, which helps. But like, it is kind of like incredible going to like housing districts and being like, holy shit, like going to all these different areas in this game and seeing all of that. So I really do like the Final Fantasy 14 like cities because again, they all do really feel like cities. Like they feel giant. Fucking I don't know if you played any of the. You only played Deus Ex. You only played Human Revolution, right?
yeah. I only played Human Relation in the
I
DLC.
think Panama, where the city is, and Mankind Divided is kind of small, but it feels very alive and very fun to explore. I think that's another good city. Fucking trying to think of some more. Oh, fucking Yakuza and Judgment, of course. Kamakura, one of the most iconic cities probably in gaming. And it's a city that I think anyone who plays this game is gonna have like a hold a special place in their hearts because you're essentially gonna see it age. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Like you see it from the '80s all the way to like 2020.
just
Like it's really cool.
seeing business leaders like stay in like again. I'll go over is that they like. I almost like. I mean, honestly, I almost said like because they go off their time period. That was like, well, they didn't start the fucking '80s, but like what I mean, like they really go off the period to where like, I mean, like when they get to like when you get caught up to like the actual timeline, it's all they're almost just going 1-to-1 in real life
Yeah.
again. But like again, it's like really cool to see like the time periods change and like do that shit. Like again, like I would say Yakuza Zero is probably the brightest that city feels because it's 80s, so it's like
Like
super
'80s.
neon, super business booming, super real estate. Everything is on going, and then like you go into the early 2000s, there's a lot more abandoned shit. The city's not like as bright as it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything in
Like
like in
it
the
really
newer
feels
games
like
is modern.
watching growth.
Yeah.
That's why I like the Yakuza 7 city too. I really like the cities and like Yakuza and
And
Judgment.
then Judgment
I
has
think
the
they're
hacker Twitter thing, so that probably like helps more where I can see people's thoughts. And so like I see like another cool thing is when they write they some tweets actually do follow their NPCs later on, so it's kind of funny to see like it's like or one time I saw a thing where it's like I was like, I feel like my teacher like stares at me sometimes. And later on, I think I saw a teacher saying, I can't help but these schoolgirls are too cute. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying, judging one particularly, what made the city the most alive to me was I did like the friend system because I was trying to do all the quests. So as a result, I essentially could see my friends while like if like NPCs that like work at restaurants and stuff that I did these quests for, I made friends for. So I would see actual like friends like with smiley faces over them while I was like, oh, like that's that guy I know. I didn't realize they walk around the city. That's cool. I didn't know their NPCs were programmed to do that. And also, it makes it feel super alive. Is like if I like because I helped all these restaurants and stuff. Like any place I was outside of, you get that super heat action move as a like reward. So like almost anywhere I was fighting outside, I would get help. So like it really made that city like feel bustling and like I was a detective that really helped this area. You know what I mean? It really added to the vibe of that game,
Yeah.
which is part of why I love it so much. Is why it's like so special to me. Is like the city like felt so alive because of the extra stuff I did. Like Control is again really one of the most iconic cities in gaming. Again, you watch it grow up. It's like you feel so attached to it. Even the Yakuza 7 one, I've only seen. I'm just at the like peddling part of fucking Yakuza 8. I need to go back to it at some point. But like the Hawaii also feels like really like cool and distinct. Like Yakuza does just cities I think really well in general. Like they really feel alive.
Yeah.
But it's a
Ryuga.
really really good one.
Ryuga Studios are like nail like I would say nail music especially, but also like just their surroundings pretty well. Again, like it's not really a city; it's more of a fucking boat. But I just wanted to dick ride this a bit and erase his name. The Bolt Coliseum area, I love that area. Uh, Despite I would want to bang my head on the wall doing the secret shit, I just thought that area was cool because again, I like the Coliseums and Zero is really cool as the Majima, and then in 1 and 2 I love the whole Coliseum fights as well. I like the idea of an underground fighting pit, so to see that come back, especially in Yakuza and Kiryu's little story, was just kind of cool, you know?
Yeah, but to shoot Angular to kind of where it's not like really a full city, I think the towns and stuff in Persona do a really good job at feeling alive. And I think a big part of that is like you have to do your social links. These are places where you have to get like your skills up. So there's restaurants that you go there and they're actively doing things for you, like raising your stats. I think the schools in those games feel really well alive. Like I think that's a great Persona 3 is a great example of making like these towns feel very alive, and they do feel like big. Especially when like you go like you travel outside of them in the games, you're like, oh shit, like it feels really special
You
to learn
know,
those and like up your stuff.
I'll throw it back, you know? Even though this guy, I mean, I get annoyed with this guy sometimes. And I only like one of his games is The Friends of Ringo Ishikawa by Io. The only game of his I like. I fell in love with that game. Which is funny because I was like, oh, this guy is gonna hit you more, and I played Fading Out Reno. I was like, what the fuck? But I like that all like the gang colors, all the people they have the same sprites, so it's like you kind of recognize certain people. So certain times I would see like there would be like one guy who's blonde purple jumpsuit guy, and when I would see him, I was like, you motherfucker, I'd chase him down. I'd like again like your friends hang around like they have like their own schedules, hang around the school and shit, so it's fun to go with them. Like again, it was a very nice game where obviously I was more into like the fighting shit, but like it was fun to kind of like almost go on this high school schedule of like go to gym, go to the cafe to read my manga while I drink, and then go beat up the fucking purple jumpsuit guys with my allied other gang.
Mhm. Yeah, and to actually like not like again not a city, but like making like this like area feel super alive would be that game I just played, which is Techno Banner. I really liked how much like the strip felt like this very unique place with like these sets of characters. Like sometimes it's like such a just a small part of the city, but you like because it's a small part, you can focus on every little thing. It makes it feel like so much more alive than if you did like a big thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'd say Techno Banner that little strip feels more alive than any part of the Spider-Man map. You know what I mean? Like it just feels super distinct. Every character has something to say. Like it feels like he has his own little story that I have to uncover in this part. Like it just stuff like that does a really good job at making these places feel like significant. Ugh. I don't know. Is there any kind of like cities or anything in No Man's Sky?
No, because like the thing is, it's all random generated, right? I mean, there's the sphere, the hub, but like that's well, it's not really a city. It's more like a hub. It's like fucking it's right all right there, you know. But other than that, everything's like more outposts. So like it's kind of like its own like standard outpost design. So like there's really no city. Which again, like as I was telling Doctor, where I like No Man's Sky, but when you don't get in this game the idea of like you have to understand what you're going for. If you just want the fun of exploring of your own planet type shit, then yeah. And before someone goes to say it, yes, there are towns. They're not fucking cities. They're more settlements that you control, but it's not really a city. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the
Yeah.
Citadel is gonna be in fucking No Man's Sky. It's gonna be a Minecraft village or a little outpost. Again, I love No Man's Sky. I love the whole idea of exploring everything, but like as I play Starbound, I want the A bounty hunter, but also to see some type of fucking civilization. Again, that's why I'm always looking for that space game that just gets everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because every space game I play, it only's got one part what I want. It doesn't have the full package. Plus
There's
8 hours of
another.
total.
It's not just a radio. It's like this like spin-off game, Cyber Rush,
The
some
one you
shit
play,
like that.
I remember.
Yeah, I really like to say in that everything has its own gang. I like how distinct it is, how stylistic. That's just another town where I like the level design of. Like, again, it's like barely a city. Like it's kind of like each neighborhood and each stream together is level. But again, I really like how it's fucking put together. Uh,
Yo, hon, pause.
um,
And pause.
um, yeah, I think that about wraps up all the cities I can think of, or like areas that really feel alive,
Oh,
like
I'll give this
new
one.
games to me at
I,
least.
I, I really love Disco Elysium's like where it takes place.
Oh yeah, okay, like that area, yeah.
That is again, I love that story. I love that game. Again, I'll be real. I heard about Disco Elysium and I was like, I don't think I like it. But like you were so gun ho about it. Plus it went on a really good sale. So I was like, I have to get it fine. And I was going in with like pretty like whatever. And I walked out going, this shit is keen.
Hmm. No, it's a great
I
game.
walked in, they were
Just
like La Mouse, Centrist Cuck, and I was like, damn.
no, it's a great game. It just also attracts a lot of annoying people.
Yeah, but like again, I love that city. Let's see. I'm just kind of like scrolling through to see if there's anything else.
Yeah, I've been looking through my game list.
Dragon Age Origins. I
I don't know.
don't
I don't really
know.
think of a city. Like, I don't think of an iconic city when I think of Dragon Age. To be honest,
Yeah.
like, I think we're about getting like ones I can least think of.
Uh, I will I really liked Vault City in Fallout 2. Because that felt like a fuck. I don't know if we're counting. I mean it's fucking city in the game. I just don't.
Yeah, it counts. Like,
But like again, it just
I
again
just haven't played that far into Fallout 2, so I don't know. I can reference here.
again I kind of get why people get so annoyed now with New Bethesda and Fallout because like playing a good portion of Fallout 2, it's like wow, it's like it's not so much like humanity has only like the one settlement. It's like no, we have like a multiple culture shit going
You know,
on
humanity
here.
has very much survived. Even Fallout 1, humanity is like kind of like already getting back on its feet.
But like honestly, Fallout City actually isn't my favorite, but it was most interesting because of the whole vault thing, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. New Reno, I think honestly, New Reno is what you'd probably want. Is what you would want from Vegas. New Reno is my favorite because it's like straight up Vegas, but like first of all, it's controlled by like three powers. It's three mob families that all have their own turf in the city. So that's how it goes off. First of all, it has its own porn studio where you can become a porn star. It has its own boxing gym where you can become the champion, which I did. Then it has like all like the major casinos and other shit. Each gang running its own big thing. Like one gang runs the porn studio, one gang runs the giant casino, and the other gang I think does smuggling. And it's just like such a huge like it's so like especially because where how far in the map is you're going through so much wasteland and death that when you hit that big neon Vegas city you're like what the fuck Like I'm real.
Yeah.
Like I spent like 4 hours in New Reno doing so much shit. It was like really like just again. I was so upset when my shit corrupted because I Fallout 2 was gonna get a great rating from me. I still haven't beaten it. I got to I got like just before I'm supposed to go to like pretty much the end game. I was in like the I think it's a Japanese gang or fucking Chinese gang. I don't remember, but like it was the one run by like the Shang fucking mafia or fuck they're called in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But again, like Fallout 2 has a lot of good like again Fallout had a lot of good cities until they all got destroyed.
Ugh. Can you think of any others? Like, I don't know. I think we're
Scroll, scroll,
about
scroll.
done. And like, I'm looking through all my games, and like there's some that I probably have some that I just haven't played yet, so like I can't really comment. Like BioShock, I have beats, so like, I can't really comment, etc.
Mm,
Assassin's Creed's had some fun cities. Again, they didn't feel alive, but they were like great design wise. Like fucking, especially Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood with fucking, the cities. Other than that, like again,
yeah,
I
I
think we
don't,
covered a lot of cities.
yeah,
So,
I don't need anything else. I think we kind of hit everything we could find.
all right. Well, that'll be it for today, though. Next week, obviously, it's gonna be Kingdom Come 2 discussion, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be a good topic for us because we both are so ready for that game. Almost 12 hours, like 13 hours, so it's out. Just saying.
Dick hard. Anyway,
Yeah, that should be a really good episode. But I think today was fun. I like discussing all these cities.
thanks
It
for
brings back good memories.
watching.
Yep. Have a good week, everybody. Bye bye.